Welcome to the TOYLINE channel. Sit back and enjoy my top 10 GIJoe outside the regular toy line.
Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about my top 10 GIJoe from the 80s and 90s that were released by other brands. Keep in mind that a couple of my choices are joint ventures with Hasbro. But the idea is to rank GIJoe outside of the regular toy line. Let's begin.
First, take a moment to subscribe. Now let's rock and roll.
Stay tuned for a bonus video.
Okay, starting off with number 10, we have the GIJoe Mobile Field Walkie-Talkie set, produced by Nasta in 1984. This thing looks great. Every kid had a walkie-talkie, so why not pretend to be a Joe? Much better than pretending to be a Joe on Halloween, wearing those plastic suits that didn't breathe and those god-awful masks that cut your face. Hello? This isn't a telephone? It's not supposed to ring? Oh, so this isn't really happening? Okay, thanks, bye. Okay, for number 9, we have something you would enjoy if you like the artwork of GIJoe. GIJoe puzzles. Starting in 1982, American Publishing Corp. produced 4 puzzles. I have one of them. In 1985, Milton Bradley made 4 puzzles that connected into a mural. And in 87, they made 4 more, and again in 1988. Okay, for number 8, we have the GIJoe Snake Eyes handheld video game, released by Micro Games USA in 1990. These things were popular back in the day. Before Nintendo Game Boy, we had these cheap calculator-type graphic handheld games. Some were okay, others not so much. After playing Snake Eyes, I realized it kind of sucked, so I've changed my number 8 to Nintendo's GIJoe A Real American Hero, released in 1991 by Taxon. The reason I didn't originally pick this game is because I didn't have a Nintendo growing up, so yeah, I was a Sega kid. Don't feel sorry for me, that's fine. Okay, moving on to number 7, we have my favorite GIJoe board game, released in 1985. This thing was massive, almost 9 square feet. In 1984, Hasbro bought Milton Bradley, and together they released GIJoe Commando Attack Game. Okay, number 6, GIJoe Colorforms, released in 1982 by the Colorforms brand. These things were awesome. If you grew up in the 80s, you know what I mean. They came with backgrounds that you could transfer these pictures of Joes or Joe vehicles onto. Some of them you would use a pencil and they were permanent. These ones were plastic, so you could use them over and over again. These things were really fun when you were little. Okay, for number 5, we have the Electric Train and Battle set, released by Tyco in 1984. This train set came with plastic figures and vehicles, a massive mat to set it up on, beautiful box art. Okay, number 4, GIJoe Trading Cards, released by Impel in 1991. This was my favorite GIJoe trading card set. Familiar characters, but with new original artwork. Okay, we're at number 3 already. The Crossfire. This vehicle was a joint venture between Hasbro and Nikko RC Toys of Japan. The Crossfire was released in 1987 and came with driver rumbler. Number 2. A Real American Hero Sunbow TV series. Sunbow first released the commercial for the #1 issue of Marvel Comics' G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero in 1982. But the cartoon started in 1983 with a 5-part series, The Mass Device, and again in 1984 with The Revenge of Cobra. In 1985, the regular series launched and lasted 2 seasons and ended with the G.I. Joe movie in 1987. And the #1 spot for 80s and 90s Joe besides the regular toy line is Marvel Comics' G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, first released in 1982. This is a really neat play set. I didn't put the stickers on yet, but there's a lot of play features. There's a booby trap here for this tree to fall and block the path. This thing just lifts these guys up and down, I guess. That's not that great. You put it in the middle, it relieves the drawbridge, so you can lift it up. Pull it right out. And if you turn this one more, there's a booby trap here that you can open up. You can't really see it unless I turn it around, but you can drive the vehicle. There's a lift for the vehicle to go up to the 2nd floor. This thing here flaps in and out. This thing goes underneath, acts as a shield, I guess, or helicopter landing. This thing here shoots. But yeah, there you have it.